unprecedented change. This guy actually, when he turns it on, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great to be back. We're dealing with times of unprecedented change. I used to be one of those people who was like upset when people check their phones, but the reality is we have no choice now, right? We are forced to try and keep up all the time. There's so much change. There's so much happening, we can't let it go. And so what do we end up having to do? We end up trying to just paddle our way through. How many people have been told we just have to do more with less? Year after year after year. And yet at the same time, the forces around us keep growing faster and faster and faster. Right? We've got all sorts of things we've heard about today, whether or not that is new policy change, whether or not that is new technologies. I didn't even know about hyper, fusion, and quantum all happening at the same time. We're talking about a SaaS apocalypse. We're talking about budgeting crisis. We've got so much that's happening. It's difficult to get by. And yet we hear it time and time again, that famous saying, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, but it still burns the hell out of you, right? We burn ourselves out to the edges, and it's a challenge for all of us. And so what we have to do is try and figure out new and better ways to try and deal with this rapid pace of change that we're all facing. Because here is a really stark and unfortunately true reminder. The pace of change will never again is today. I'll say that again. The pace of change will never again be as slow as it is today. I know this may be difficult to believe, but there will be a time in the not so distant future, maybe just a couple years down the road, when you'll get back to your friends and be like, oh my God, do you remember when we were in Santa Fe for closing in 2026? Things were so easy then. Life was so simple. Because that's the reality of where we are. And the challenge is that we've been dealing with change the same way for almost 100 years. We tend to have one of two different camps that we go into. The resilience camp and the adaptability camp. If you had to choose one of those two, how many of you say that you're more about the resilience side? Just let's tough it through. Who's grit? Okay, a few followers of Mary Beth from this morning, okay? How many of you are more adaptability? Let's change and keep going. Well, both of those seem like great ideas, right? This first idea that we had, it was all going to be about grit and getting through and making sure that we were able to move through whatever storm happened to us. It's a great concept. But the challenge is that storms are coming so fast. We're now in what we call a VUCA environment. This was a term coined by the military in the end of the Cold War. It's volatile. It's uncertain, right? There's certain complexity and there's ambiguity. Every single thing is happening. And the thing is, a VUCA environment used to happen once a year, once a month, and now it happens once a day. So even those of us who have strong grit, who have this resilience to get through, sometimes run into challenges. So I'm going to do me a favor real quick. Take one hand out. And what I want you to do is I want you to put your ring finger down. And then put your hand on the table just like that. Yeah. Now what I want you all to do is wiggle your thumbs up and down for me. How's that? Pretty easy? Nice? Strong. You're good. But a change happens, now we have to switch fingers. So let's go to our pointer finger. So move your pointer finger up and down. Super strong. You're crushing it. Now, another change happens. Let's go to our middle finger. What are we doing? It is still strong. This foundation in my hand is impenetrable. Now a new change happens. Now move your pinkies up and down. Keep your ring finger on the table. Now move your pinkies. Yeah, doesn't it? Resilience is great up to a point that we've found is eventually you run out. The reality is that it used to make you strong, that you think would make you survive, eventually doesn't keep up with the future. Resilience is important on its own, but by itself it is powerless. So what do we have to do next? Well, if we're not going to have resilience, what do we have? Adaptability, right? This ability to grow, to change, to morph into whatever's next, right? That's what we're so good at. We're figuring out what we can do to evolve and to change. We even came up with a fancy term for it in the 2020s. We called it pivoting. How many of you pivoted? All right, so listen, can I get everyone to stand up for me? Like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was happening. Just do me a favor, just stand up real quick. And what I want you to do is I want you to have your right leg be a pivot. So anchor that center around your left leg is going to move. Okay? And when I say pivot, what I want you to do is literally just pivot your body 1/4 turn, keeping your pivot leg there. Okay? So it's 2020. We've got COVID. What are we going to do? Pivot. Awesome. So now we've got all this technology, and now all of a sudden everything's opened up again. So what are we going to do? Pivot. Oh my God, I think it's starting to go over The challenge with adaptability, you can sit down. The challenge with adaptability is sometimes we get so fast, we get so focused on changing that we don't anchor it to anything. We just keep moving and we end up right where we started. The challenge isn't that we're too quick to adjust. It's sometimes we're too fast to endure. We just keep hopping on the next bandwagon, the next new thing, this new technology, that whatever the strategy is, there's so much good that happens with change, but sometimes it happens so fast, as it does right now, that if we adapt to every new change, we just end up spinning ourselves in circles. So if adaptability doesn't work, and we know that resilience isn't strong enough today by itself, what's else out there? I think there's a third option. And what my research has uncovered in the last 10 years is there's a unique blend of resilience and adaptability, a new skill set, a new way of hardwiring ourselves that will help us be successful in this new era of constant VUCA change. The combination of resilience and adaptability didn't have a word, so I created one. I call it resilient. Okay, when you make up words, you can do whatever you want to. Right, but the idea is this. Use the image in your head of bamboo. Anyone who knows bamboo knows it is amazing because it's deeply rooted in the ground, and yet it's flexible enough to weather typhoons and storms. What we need to do is get that bamboo mindset where we combine the best of resilience and the best of adaptability. But it doesn't come easy. It requires some principles, some understanding behind it. It's about having, first and foremost, the competence to be able to do what you do well and not undermine it. Part of what we do so often is we undermine our own confidence. Our own confidence. Why? Because we're trying to do too many things at once. But then we have to have confidence about our competence. When we have confidence, it powers everything. Unfortunately, so many of us have a false sense of confidence because we don't do a good job of measuring our own success. Well, let me give you, for example, what percentage of Americans do you think say they are better drivers than the average driver? 93%. If you've been on any road in America, you know we overestimate. We have overconfidence in that space. What else do we have to have? We have to have connection with people. We have to have a connection with mission. We can't lose the people side of what we do, and we can't lose the organizational side of what we do. We also need to make sure that throughout all this we have curation, that we don't let the noise, there's so much information, just keep us swaying. We've got to figure out what we need to do better. We've got to make sure that we have control over ourselves, our environments. We have to have the courage to be willing to make difficult decisions, whether or not that's to move or to stay forward, and most everything. You have to have the character to continue to drive you forward. The pace of change is not going to slow down people. You're going to find in every single conference we go to, every single day, there are new and overwhelming changes we have to do. The question is whether or not you want to fall behind, keep getting burned out, swim upstream your entire life, or if we're going to rewire ourselves and live the future with resilience.